Brian Barrett, joined by meteorologist Justin Bailey. Time to give you an update on this weekend's severe weather. And I know you've probably heard, Friday night and Saturday. And really, Justin, this is going to kind of be like a very early morning Saturday through the day. And it could be, well after dark Saturday before we're in the all clear.
That's correct. It's looking like basically about a 24-hour event. Looking starting, like you said, from about midnight Friday night till possibly as late as midnight Saturday night.
One key takeaway, so we don't forget as well, he's got some nice, beautiful sunshine behind him, and we don't want to see sunshine on Saturday, do we?
I'm out here at Siegel Soccer Park. Got kids out here practicing, and it is a beautiful, beautiful sunset this evening. Got a few little showers around us, and it's making for a nice, wonderful evening.
The calm before the storm, I guess we can say. National Weather Service did a media briefing today. Thought we would just share some of that with you and kind of give some insight. Confidence is pretty high that there will be multiple rounds of severe weather. This slide says Friday night, continuing through early Saturday morning, and then another round sometime on Saturday. But this looks like a 24-hour period that we need to be vigilant and paying attention to the weather. And it's really early Saturday morning that we need to be aware of. Here is the Friday severe risk, and this goes through 7 a.m. on Saturday. And we're right there in the level 2 out of 5. And one thing I think it's important to notice, well, we're only in the yellow. We're not in the orange or the red, so we don't have to worry about it. These are just arbitrary lines here.
Right. Yeah, the atmosphere doesn't see those lines.
Absolutely not. So wind, hail, tornadoes, heavy rain, all the entire severe weather salad is on the table. And this is just a look at some of the probabilities. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say the Nashville's National Weather Service meteorologist earlier today I was listening to made a great point. Once you got a sustained thunderstorm in that air mass, whether you're in the slight risk or the moderate risk, it can do anything. In this atmosphere, in this environment, anything is possible once you got a sustained, mature supercell thunderstorm in this environment.
And that's certainly why, the Storm Prediction Center on the day of, I mean, they're going to update this like 3 times, I guess, at least, maybe 4, depending on the time frame.
Yep.
So those risks could continue. So anywhere that you see the hash and the black hashes, that's where the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting the possibility for significant severe. That could be, 70, 80 mile an hour winds. It could be tornadoes, things of that nature. Hail doesn't look like it's as big of a factor here, but look at the timing. So this is going to give us an insight on maybe the earliest. The National Weather Service thinking is as early as 12 a.m. on Saturday, but most likely for the area in the middle, the area 2 that's in the medium gray, if you will, between 2 and 4, and maybe ending by 5 a.m. But you mentioned it a second ago. We've got to be aware this is an all-day thing.
That's correct. And, these storms are going to be moving fast. There's going to be a lot of wind energy in the atmosphere driving. We're talking 50, 60 mile per hour these storms will be traveling. So it's one of those events where if you hear thunder, that storm's going to be on top of you in no time. If you're close enough to hear the thunder, probably a good bet to just go ahead and take shelter.
Very good point there. This is the risk area for Saturday from 7 a.m. through the day until 7 a.m. Sunday, and definitely fully in the level 3 out of 5. This is going to change. All of these things are going to change, but the severe threat is not. So confidence is pretty high. Now, there's some question, and we can talk about this when we look at the HRRR in just a second, some question on whether there's going to be a break in the action from the early morning or not. That's still uncertain, and the models are kind of different on that. Just wanted to kind of give you this note as well, because some of our stormiest times could be at night. So you've got to have a way to be woken up from a sleep, whether it be a NOAA weather radio.
Absolutely.
Those wireless emergency alerts that may get annoying because it's for an Amber Alert in Kingsport, but those are going to be important. You've really got to have one of those ways to, or both, really, it'd be the best.
Yep.
And so let's
Because
kind of
unfortunately, around here, we don't have tornado sirens in every community. They're hit and miss.
right. And honestly, at night in the bed, I'm not hearing stuff on the outside. So it's important to have a way to be woken up if the storms come through during the nighttime hours, and we do think that's going to be the case for some of the stormage. This is just one of the computer models. It's a short range model. It's different from the one we used earlier in the week because those are kind of long range models. But when you see this on a model, the high res models, Justin, that's a scary look.
Correct. I mean, what you're seeing there is those individual discrete cells. It's not a solid line. Once you get those discrete cells, that's whenever you can get they develop into supercells, and that's when you can get more of the significant severe weather production.
Yeah, and there are several little cells that out there, as you can see, and they're even showing. We if you follow the weather at all, you talk about a hook. Even some of the you know HRRR future casting here is picking up on supercellular storms. So it's kind of a
Right.
concerning look right
If you're
there.
familiar with the guys like Reed Tim or Ryan Hall, they like to term signatures like that beans. Looks like a little kidney bean, and that's even the high res model is picking up on the rotation of the storm in the atmosphere, causing it to have that curvature.
And you can kind of look at it. I'll take it back here just a little bit, and then we'll roll through pretty quick here. But even as these storms come together and travel through, you can see that they have a movement as well as that shape. It looks like maybe early for us between 4 and 5 o'clock, and these times you just need to be weather aware early hours of Saturday morning. Then this is a part of the time where there's a little uncertainty, but there's at least 3.5 hours there, Justin, where we may be in sunshine.
Right, and that's kind of what's uncertain is how far south does that precipitation get? There's going to be a boundary placed that's going to have to retreat back north as a pseudo warm front, and with the rain cooled air mass to the north of it, and that's going to be a focal point for convection. But how far south does that get? Where does it stall out at? And where does that instability develop? If those storms, there's still a chance those storms overnight Friday night don't develop
Sure.
because of a stronger cap. And if they don't, then we're looking at a potentially worst case scenario where we don't have the residual cloud cover and rain cooled air mass in place. More storms in the mornings, probably a best case scenario.
Yeah. This is kind of a boom or bust here. So the bust would be the cap stays. We don't get those early morning storms. The boom would be to have these individual supercells kind of come through early in the morning. And the second boom or bust is how far north during the day on Saturday does that warm front get? And this HRRR is looking like it's going to bring it close to our area, maybe a little bit north, maybe a little bit south, but that's probably where we don't want to be.
Yeah, and there's some models like the NAM I looked at earlier today that has that warm front clearing northwest of Clarksville. And so, there's a chance that we are well in the warm sector if that were to happen. And, that's not where we want to be. This HRRR is honestly a better case scenario for mitigating the severe weather production on Saturday.
Yeah, and keeping that warm fetch coming in from the south and that warm front to get severe storms is really going to have to clear the area, and to not have as severe of storms. I don't want to say we're not going to have any severe storms if it doesn't come through, but what we will get is maybe more rain and some really heavy downpours. But this has the look, and Justin, that somewhere here in the southeast it's going to be a really bad day, and we're kind of in that bullseye. I think it's going to be maybe a rougher day in Mississippi and Alabama, but regardless, those storms will eventually come through our area, and just see how angry they are, I guess.
That's correct. That's correct. I mean,
Well,
some
any
of the parameters and the indices that we look at are off the charts with this system. They're pretty much maxed out. And so if everything comes together, it could be a pretty big event.
we want to make sure that the reason
And
for this tonight is not to, stoke fear or anything, but you really have to be prepared. I don't think we can say it um, any stern enough that you need to be prepared on Saturday for severe storms, and we'll just see how it hashes out. There are going to be little things that happen
well,
on
let's
Saturday, Justin. These little things could change in one way or another. It always does with every system.
right, and that's the mesoscale features through the day, Friday night and into Saturday morning, are really going to determine where the corridor for large destructive tornadoes is going to set up at.
Well, just a
Let's
reminder.
let's go ahead and go over what some of those preparations need to look like. What do people need to do, Brian, to be prepared for the event that they're under a tornado warning?
Sure, and knowing the difference between a watch and warning is extremely important in that. We've got some of the nighttime severe weather checklist here, but not only having a way to be awoken from a deep sleep, but also have that safety plan. Where are you going to go? Because when you get the warning, you may only have just a short amount of time to get there.
Right. If you're in a mobile home, you know, you need to have a sturdy shelter somewhere nearby that you can get to pretty quickly.
Yeah, and now's the
Have a
time to
plan
make
in
those
place.
plans. Right now, while we have
Yeah.
sunshine,
Whether
make those
that's a
plans.
neighbor or a family member or your local church, somebody have a plan in place.
Flashlight, good pair of shoes, extra clothes.
Yes.
If put all of that stuff together, and it's always good to important papers that you may have at home. It's always good to keep those in a place where you can get them really quick if you need to go to shelter or keep them on you. So, anything else
Yeah,
that we're missing?
if your safe place is an interior closet, have that stuff stationed there. Don't go to sleep with your shoes on, but
Right.
don't be caught off guard either. Have a work jacket to protect your body with. I hear people talk about having helmets, whether it's a bike helmet or a baseball helmet, whatever that needs to be. But have a helmet in there with you and just have stuff staged and ready and be prepared.
Be prepared. That's the big thing. And unfortunately, overnight tornadoes are 2 times as likely to have fatalities just because people aren't aware. And that's really the
That's right.
number one reason why we're doing this video. So tomorrow's not going to be a bad day. A little windier, but we're going to have sunshine. It's going to be bringing in that warm, moist air, and so we'll just have to see how things roll out. But early Saturday morning through the day on Saturday, you have to be weather aware. Any final points?
Well, I think back to some other bigger events in the past, and especially that had dual episodes where that first wave would hit, and you got issues, power outages, trees down, people trapped and stranded, and you have no way to get warnings or services to these communities as that second round is coming in. So again, that's just another way of delivering the message of be prepared. Have your cell phone. What do you do if the cell phone towers are down?
True. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very important.
You
Make
got
sure
your
you get
car radio. Turn on what's your radio station? Turn on
that's
the car radio. We can still listen to it.
right. That'll be another good source for you on FM 100.5 in Smyrna, 101.9 and AM 1450 in Murfreesboro. And we'll have coverage both on the video channels here and there. Charge that phone or your iPad or all of it. Have a good charge for Saturday. And we'll be here with any information that's going on here for Rutherford County. We've got a good connection with the National Weather Service. So, I hear this a lot. There are a lot of people that have storm anxiety, and this is probably one of those videos where they're watching and they're anxious. So, don't be scared. Just prepare, know what you're going to do, and we'll get through it. It's not like this is the first time it's ever happened.
That's right. We'll get through it together.
All right, Justin, I know you'll be around, and we'll keep getting updates, and we'll probably not do a video tomorrow just because it's so close to the event. But if we've got any watches, warnings, things of that nature, we'll be on here to tell you about it. Have fun at the soccer over there this
Yes, sir.
afternoon.
Yes, sir. And I'm sure there'll be updates coming through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever all the platforms we're on.
Absolutely. You can follow at Ruco Weather. One more thing. I don't know we've said one more thing twice now, but share this information. If you're watching, you're a weather weenie, as I like to call it. So you're engaged, but you have family members that maybe aren't. So share this with them. Let them know about the possibilities of severe weather and that we'll be around in case you need us. And that's Rutherford Weather, RutherfordWX.com, and all the socials are right there for you to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. For meteorologist Justin Bailey, Bryan Barrett, have a great evening, everybody.